In Hollywood, where time seems to stand still on the silver screen, many male stars have quietly opted for plastic surgery to maintain their iconic looks. There are subtle changes, but there are also transformations that surprise fans for generations of viewers who have witnessed them at the peak of their careers. These changes are both surprising and exciting. In this video, let's explore the surprising plastic surgery journeys of male stars and the profound stories behind their new looks. Simon Cowell's transformation over the years has been controversial not just for the changes in his appearance, but also for what it says about masculinity, aging, and public expectations. Originally known as the outspoken judge on American Idol, the British media mogul once embodied an image of Hollywood's lack of frills in the early 2000s. His rugged, unpolished appearance was perfectly suited to his edgy style by 2008. However, subtle signs of cosmetic enhancements, possibly Botox, began to emerge. Cowell openly admitted to using it, commenting, "Every guy I know has had it now," reflecting a cultural shift in how men approach cosmetic surgery as he approaches his 50s. Cowell's increasingly dramatic transformation has become impossible to ignore. Experts speculated that he had eyelid surgery and possibly a face and neck lift after a major health scare. In 2017, Cowell turned to a healthier lifestyle, giving up red meat and alcohol. This new commitment was accompanied by a different approach to skincare, moving away from heavy fillers to more subtle procedures, like the Silhouette Soft Lift, which he publicly endorsed in 2019. However, by 2022, Cowell's dramatic change in appearance had been met with criticism and concern. He later admitted to overdoing it to the point where he no longer recognized himself in the mirror. The humbling moment marked a turning point, not only for him, but for many men struggling with aging in the public eye. For older audiences, Cowell's story serves as a reminder that the pursuit of youth can come at a high price, and that grace, self-acceptance, and moderation are often more powerful than perfection. His openness invites reflection rather than judgment, helping to dispel stereotypes about male grooming while encouraging a balanced path forward. Mickey Rourke was once the heartthrob of the 80s, but his journey has been marked by deep physical and emotional scars. After turning to boxing in the early 90s, he suffered a series of serious injuries, including a broken nose and damaged cheekbones, which began a painful and complicated journey of transformation. While the surgeries were initially necessary, Rourke later chose the wrong surgeon, leading to procedures that did more harm than good. By the early 2000s, his unconventional appearance had become an integral part of his public persona, especially through roles in Sin City and The Wrestler, where his tough exterior reflected his inner struggles. What made Rourke so appealing was not just his physical transformation, but his uncompromising honesty. "It's not always pretty, but it's real." He once said, in an industry that demands perfection, he chooses to embrace his scars as a mark of his life. His story resonates deeply with those who value resilience and authenticity, reminding them that scars are not something to be ashamed of, but rather a symbol of strength and inner truth. Scott Top Thompson, the 90s comedian with curly red hair, underwent a controversial and surprising transformation in the 2000s. From his original skinny image, he transformed into a muscular physique, leading many to speculate about heavy training and the use of nutritional supplements. However, it was not just his body. The obvious changes on his face, especially the eyes, eyebrows, and cheekbones, raised suspicions of plastic surgery. Although Carrot Top always denied and joked that it was the makeup artist's fault, plastic surgery experts said that he had a brow lift, eyelid surgery, and facial contouring. This change not only refreshed his appearance, but also broke the norm of men having to accept aging naturally over time. The public went from ridicule to acceptance and respect for his decision, reflecting the changing perception of men and aesthetics for older audiences. Scott Carrot Top Thompson's story is more than a joke. It's a testament to the pressures of maintaining a presence in a world that's obsessed with youth and the physical and emotional costs of change. His mix of humor and honesty reminds us that behind every famous face lies a story of humanity and courage. Carrie Grant's timeless elegance was not only due to good genes, but also to meticulous grooming and quiet improvements. Born Archibald Leach, he gradually became a Hollywood icon in the early 1930s, starting with his teeth being straightened to create his signature charming smile. Grant continued to star alongside younger actresses into his 50s in the 1950s, a testament to how he maintained his stellar image. Around 1957, he reportedly underwent upper eyelid surgery to correct droopy eyelids, giving his face a more youthful appearance without losing his natural expression. His close friend Katharine Hepburn once joked that Grant maintained himself like a classic sportsman, not flashy but meticulous and polished. This quiet approach became a model for many male stars who came after him, focusing on grace rather than chasing after youth for older audiences. Carrie Grant's story is both nostalgic and inspiring, a reminder that aging gracefully and with dignity can be just as powerful as your on-screen roles. Thank you for following Fame Files. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment about which character resonates with you the most. Robert Redford possessed a timeless charisma and a calm demeanor that made him a Hollywood icon of masculinity throughout the 1970s and 1980s. His golden hair, steady gaze, and commanding presence were not just a gift from his genes, but also the result of meticulous grooming. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Redford has never confirmed or denied having had plastic surgery in a 2007 interview. He simply said everyone has the right to do what they want. In the mid-1980s, when he was approaching 50, he reportedly had his eye bags removed, a detail that had once detracted from his cinematic charisma. Makeup artists, like Leonard Engelman, say Redford always knew how to adjust, just enough to capture the best image on camera. In the early 1990s, he may have had a slight lower facelift, preserving his jawline, but still maintaining a natural look. These adjustments are not for the sake of youth, but for the sake of harmony, which is what makes him appear on screen so relaxed and effortless. Redford's secret, experts say, is moderation, no rush, no extremes, just small, steady changes over time, allowing him to age honestly and gracefully as he transitioned into directing. He became even more comfortable with his appearance, willing to embrace wrinkles and age spots. And as critic Richard Rohr once wrote, his appearance is now truly graceful for older audiences. Redford's journey is proof that dignity, restraint, and self-confidence can make aging a beautiful, cherished stage. Kenny Rogers was once a country icon, not only for his deep voice, but also for the sincerity with which he lived and shared his life. When he turned 50 in the early 1990s, he decided to have eyelid surgery to address drooping eyelids, something many celebrities do secretly but rarely dare to talk about. But Kenny was different. In a 2006 interview, he frankly confessed, "I had my eyes done and my face lifted," and at the time he was completely satisfied with the results. Kenny Rogers later had more cosmetic procedures. His face became plump and sharp, something that the public could not help but talk about. By 2012, in a rare moment of candor, he admitted that he had some regrets. "I always look surprised, but it was that openness that made Kenny special." He broke the silence that many men in the entertainment industry maintain, making plastic surgery a part of a humane public conversation. Kenny Rogers holds nothing back. In his autobiography, he shares that while the results may not be perfect, it is important to learn to accept and move forward for older audiences. His journey is not just a story about plastic surgery, It is a story of a man who dared to face age expectations and mistakes with sincerity and a little humor, and that is what makes Kenny Rogers more relatable and respectable than ever. Kirk Douglas. The legend of Spartacus and Paths of Glory was not only distinguished by his fierce on-screen presence, but also by his courageous approach to aging from the mid-1970s. When he was approaching 60, he turned to plastic surgery as a way to preserve the expressiveness that had made him his trademark. The first surgery helped to slim his jawline and neck, retaining his fierce features, but also preparing him for the camera. Kirk Douglas did not stop there over the next 2 decades. He continued to lift his eyebrows and reshape his eyelids. Small changes, but enough to maintain a look that would suit a long career. What was remarkable was that he never hid it in 1988. He said frankly, "Everyone does it. I'm just more honest than most." In an era when men rarely admitted to having surgery, Douglas's openness was rare and courageous. Kirk Douglas has been praised by his son Michael Douglas as someone who was always adaptable and willing to reinvent himself to keep up with the times, according to Dr. Stephen Hoffman. While his early surgeries were skillful, the traces of intervention became more and more obvious over time, reflecting both the persistence and the limits of maintaining an image for older audiences. Douglas's journey is not a story of vanity, but a symbol of courage, honesty, and the effort to stay true to his passion until the end of his life. These transformations are about more than just looks. They tell a story about confidence, the pressures of fame, and the journey to maintain identity in the spotlight. Thank you for watching Hollywood Today. If you found the video interesting, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the exciting stories ahead. See you in the next video.